Okay, today we're going to be using intercepts, and your target is I can find the x and y intercept of an equation. Okay, go ahead, please hit pause and try the 3 warm-ups. Okay, for number 1, you should have gotten the answer of positive 3x minus 2y equals 6. A equals 3, B equals negative 2, and C equals 6. For number 2, no, it is not linear because x is squared. And for number 3, you should have gotten y equals negative 1/2. Okay, so now we need to know what an x and a y intercept are. So an x-intercept is where a line passes through the x-axis. Where a line passes through the x-axis. So let's go ahead and let's look down here. Here's your x-axis, here's your y-axis. Where does the line cross through the x-axis? Well, right here. That is your x-intercept. Your x-intercept is the ordered pair 4, 0. To find the x-intercept with an equation, look at your ordered pair. You have x, y is 0. So you substitute 0 in for y and solve for x. Your y-intercept, I bet you can guess now, it's where a line passes through the y-axis. So let's look down here. Right here is my y-intercept. And that ordered pair is 0, negative 3. So to find it, instead of substituting 0 in for y, this time you substitute 0 in for x and solve for y. Guys, make sure you know these two definitions and how you find them. So let's take a look at some examples. We're going to find the x and the y-intercepts. First of all, when you are labeling it, you must write out x-intercept. You can abbreviate it x-int, but I'm going to go ahead and write x-intercept. Do not just write x equals. Do not just write y equals, because those are lines, not intercepts, and y-intercept. So here, my x-intercept, it crosses it right there at 2. You can just write the number 2. Your x-intercept is 2. Here, my y-intercept is 4. It crosses it at 4. Let's look at number 2. My x-intercept and my y-intercept. It crosses the x-axis here at 3. Notice this is a vertical line. Does it ever cross the y-axis? No, so it has none. Let's look at number 3. Number 3, this is a horizontal line. Your x-intercept. Does it ever cross my x-axis? No, so there is none. Do not write 0 because 0 is on there. And then your y-intercept. Your y-intercept, where is it across the y-axis? I apologize, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. It's your y-intercept is 4. So let's suppose that you have an equation and not a picture. The first thing you have to do is it must be in standard form. Remember from yesterday, standard form is ax plus by equals c. So you need to have both your variables on the left and c on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and look. 5x minus 2y equals 10. Absolutely, it is in standard form. So remember to find your x-intercept. If we look back a couple of slides, we're going to substitute 0 in for y. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute 0 in for y. Maybe make yourself a little note. Sub 0 in for y. So I have 5x minus 2 times 0 equals 10. So 5x equals 10. Divide by 5, divide by 5, x equals 2. So my answer is that my x-intercept is 2. Let's do our y-intercept. My y-intercept, I always like to set it up really nicely. This time I'm going to sub 0 in for x. So I have 5 times 0 minus 2y equals 10. That's 0. Don't forget this is a negative 2y equals 10. Look at that sign to the left. Divide by negative 2 and get y equals negative 5. So your y-intercept is negative 5. Go ahead and put number 5 into standard form. First of all, I need to get my y on the left. It's a positive 2y, so I'm going to subtract 2y from both sides. Negative 2y minus 2y is negative 4y plus x equals, this is a negative 8. But I'm not in standard form. Use the commutative property and reverse. This is a positive x, a negative 4y equals negative 8. So now I want you to try number 5 on your own. Hit pause, and then whenever you are ready, check your answer. I will show you. Okay, you should have gotten that your x-intercept, your work should look like this. X minus 4 times 0 equals negative 8. This is just 0, x equals negative 8. Your x-intercept then is negative 8. For your y-intercept, you should have plugged 0 in for x. This is the work I'll be looking for. 0 minus 4y equals negative 8. You have negative 4y equals negative 8. Divide by negative 4, and you end up with y equals positive 2. So you have a y-intercept of a positive 2. Well, this is going to make graphing so much easier. We're going to use the intercepts to graph. So let's go ahead and find our intercepts. If we're using them, we should probably find them. So my x-intercept, I'm going to plug 0 in for y. 3x minus 7 times 0 equals 21. 3x equals 21. When you divide by 3, x equals 7. So your x-intercept is 7. Let's find our y-intercept. Plug 0 in for x. 3 times 0 minus 7y equals 21. Negative 7y equals 21. Divide by that negative 7 to get y equals negative 3. So here's our intercepts. Now, this might help you to make them as an ordered pair. Because y was 0, this is 7, 0 as an ordered pair. For your y-intercept, this is 0, negative 3. So we need to go ahead and make a coordinate plane. We need to make sure that we have 7 for the x-axis, and it goes down to negative 3. So I'm going to make my y-axis pretty far over so that I have enough. This is my y, and then my x-axis, I can put that right in the center there, my x-axis. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5. And let's plot. Our x-intercept is positive 7, right there. And my y-intercept, 0, negative 3, is right there. And then go ahead and draw a straight line through them. Straight line. Let me move this around. And don't forget, this is a line. It doesn't have stipulation, so put those arrowheads on them. So you graphed your line just using the two intercepts. Number 7, what do you do first? Got to put it in standard form. Add your x to both sides. So you have x plus y equals 4. Go ahead, I want you to do this one on your own, and then check your answer. Okay, so you should have gotten that your x-intercept is 4, and your y-intercept is 4 by substituting 0 in for y, solving for x, substituting 0 in for x, solving for y. Then when you plotted them, you plotted your x-intercept, your y-intercept, and drew your line through them. Well, now let's go ahead and let's apply this. The change in water level of a pool is about negative 0.3 feet per day. This negative right here, it just means that the water's going down. If the water level starts at 17 feet and drops for X days, write a function rule to describe the situation. Well, first of all, we need to define variables before we do anything. We already know that X equals the number of days. Well, what depends on the number of days? What does Y, which is the same thing as f of X, equal? What's the other thing that's changing? It's your water level. So I'm going to say that f of X equals, well, we know that it starts at 17 feet. So it'd be 17, and it's dropping, so it's going down 0.3 feet per, meaning times the number of days is X. Now it says A, find the intercepts and what do they represent? Well, I personally find it easier when I'm finding my intercepts, instead of writing f of X, I'm going to write this as Y equals 17 minus 0.3X. Now we can add our 0.3X to get 0.3X plus Y equals 17. Now let's go ahead and find our intercepts. My x-intercept and I'm going to plug 0 in for y, so 0.3x plus 0 equals 17. So 0.3x equals 17. Divide by 0.3, and you're going to get that x equals 56.7. So 56.7. Let's find our y-intercept. Y-intercept, I'm going to plug 0 in for x. 0.3 times 0 plus y equals 17. Well, this one's nice. Y would just equal 17, so my y-intercept is 17. So now when we're graphing, we're going to graph it using our intercepts. But if we know x is the number of days and y is the water level, we know that we only need the first quadrant. So I'm only going to use the first quadrant. Like every good graph, it needs a title. So I'm going to go ahead and make the title the pool water level. Okay, so if I look at my x-intercept, it's 56.7. And I count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need to go by 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. And I need to label this the number of days. My y-axis is your water level. And this is in feet, so make sure you put feet there. I put it in parentheses. My highest y-intercept is 17. So if there's 10 and they need to go up to 17, if I go by 2s, that'll get me to 20. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. Let's plot our y-intercept up here at 17, and my x-intercept about here at 56.7, and connect. Notice there are no arrowheads at all, but now it says what do they represent? We didn't answer that part. If my x-intercept is 56.7, I think it's easiest to look at it as 56.7, 0. This is x, this is y. So that means x is the number of days. X is the number of days, and y is the water level. So your sentence would be, in 56.7 days, the water level is 0 feet. I need to see a sentence there. For your y-intercept, it's 0, 17, which means 0 number of days, or at the start, the pool is 17 feet deep.